Hi, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Psychic Diaries. And I'm Michael Lamport, the producer and narrator of the medium show Rescue Mediums. It's not a medium show, it's a very good show. And I'm joined by Jackie Dennison, who is one of the mediums on the show and also the owner of Feathers Academy in England for clairvoyancy, and Edna, Dargie, who was our researcher, it still is our researcher on rescue mediums, and she too is mediumistic. And today, we're lucky enough, we're gonna have a few questions with the wonderful Tammarishka that I met many years ago when we did an episode of Rescue Mediums in her home in Ontario. So, without further ado, should we get into it?
We
Sounds
sure.
great.
So thank you for doing this today, Tammarishka. It's really good to see you again. You know, and as Michael just explained, you know, he first met you all those years ago when we were called out to your house. Rescue Mediums was called out to do an episode in your house. So that's when I first met you, and Edna also first met you. That was a pretty challenging episode. I mean, your family was actually driven out of the house, weren't they?
We were, and I actually had an experience there where I felt driven out. And we early purchased a house, another house, about 15 minutes away. And I actually went and stayed there.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't go back. It was quite the ordeal.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. I mean, we had some, do you remember when all the horses got out of the field?
Yes.
And Alison and I were locked in the car. The car just suddenly the locks went. We had no signal on the cell phones. We couldn't call anybody. And then the horses were everywhere. And they were only tiny, weren't they? Tiny horses, but they were everywhere. That was scary. That was a really scary moment.
Every night they would try to kick their way out of their stalls at around a certain time.
Yeah.
And when I don't know if you remember seeing during the daylight, the side of the barn was coming out from where the horses were kicking, trying to get out, and it was always at night.
Yeah. There was some strange things.
Tammarishka, do you think that could be something that the horses were picking up on psychically?
Oh, absolutely. And there was activity in the barn. There was activity in the barn. I went out in the barn one night, and I wanted to figure out why. And being who I am, you know, my mother always said to me the stove was hot, but I wouldn't believe her until I touched it. So I had to go out in the barn myself and see what was going on. So this one night, and of course to add to the ambiance of the situation, I went at midnight at a full moon, and just to add a little bit to it, and I went with a candle and a camera, no flashlight, nothing else. And there was an indoor arena in the barn where there were 18 stalls. And I went into the indoor arena, and along the back wall, you could see about 3 feet off the ground, an actual apparition moving along the back wall, went through the other wall. So I ran around to where the stalls were. The horses were kicking. All of a sudden they stopped. And it was like, excuse the pun, but dead silence in there. And nothing was moving. You couldn't even hear the crickets. Now, we were out in the country. Crickets and the bullfrogs were something you heard all the time.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, it was just absolute still silence. The horses stopped. Everything stopped. And I thought, okay, there is stuff going on here.
Do you know who that apparition might have been?
Yeah, I got a picture of him. Excuse me. The apparition, I believe, was the farmer. that lived on the land. Because when I left the barn, all of a sudden the battery on my camera that was fully charged was almost dead. And as I was leaving, I blew out the candle. I put the camera over my shoulder and started clicking, like constantly clicking as I was leaving. And I caught an apparition pointing at the tractor that was outside the barn. And another picture looked like a skeleton in overalls and a hat pointing at the tractor. Another one was a man.
Gosh.
I don't know, just saying.
Was that before we were there? Was that before rescue mediums came, or was that
before rescue mediums?
Right.
Before, yeah.
Because I know that when we were there, that's just who we encountered. We encountered that farmer, and he told us the tale of why he was there. I mean, he was a shapeshifter. He became the shapeshifter, didn't he? Because his energy was so raw. How things seemed since we've been there? Did things settle
I haven't
down?
been back.
Oh, you never
haven't
went
been
back?
back.
Oh, wow.
No, I never went back. We just before you came, we went back to try and pack things, and a television was thrown at me.
Oh, wow.
An actual, you know, those old heavy televisions, the box ones. It was a big one, like a living room size one. It was sitting on the love seat for a good month and a half. And I said to my husband, if anything happens and you hear me call you, you come, like no question. I said, this house isn't going to let us go that easy. And I was packing the wall unit. My husband was upstairs at the other end of the house. We were the only two people in the house. And this television from the other side of the room ended up less than an inch from my foot.
Wow.
It flew through the air and bang. And you know what? The screen wasn't even broken. Just a little crack on the plastic. And I called my husband, and as long as my hair was standing up on my arms, he couldn't hear me. Then when the hair went down on my arms, he heard me calling him.
Wow.
And he came down and he said, what the blank is the television doing on the floor? And I said, I told you they weren't going to let us leave so easily. I need out now. And I ran with my sage. I'm not kidding you. I had a sage bunch in my hand, sage stick, and I'm smudging that car out. I'm smudging myself. I'm smudging everything. I said, okay, now we can go. My husband said, what are you going to do if the police stop us for speeding or for whatever reason? The whole car smells like sage. He says, you know what else it smells like?
Story of what you're saying and what we know about your house, it reminds me a little bit of that great story, The Haunting of Hill House.
I saw that.
Yes, where the house wouldn't let the people go.
That was an incredible series. I loved it.
It was indeed.
It was a binge. It was a binge watch for sure. Absolutely.
Well, let's hope that the next owners of the house had settled into a house that wanted them to be there, because you know that apparition of that farmer, you know, we were able to help to go towards the light.
Yes, and I think too, me having a past life connection to the farm didn't help.
Right, I'd forgotten that. Yes.
Yeah.
It didn't help. So it was like the ex-wife coming in and stirring the pot of stew kind of thing.
I had forgotten that, but yeah, you're absolutely right about that. Yeah, so well, hopefully, as I say, everything now is settled for the owners that are there now, and you know, you've moved on from there. And I know Edna has a question for you that she is just dying to ask you.
Hi, Edna.
Hi. It's been a while since.
Yes.
In fact, it was just a year or two ago. I ran into it at a fundraising at the Spiritualist Church, and you gave me a wonderful reading about my senior cat.
Oh, thank you.
Spot on. It was wonderful.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. Well, at the time at Rockside, obviously you were connecting with spirit and had many spiritual gifts. What influenced your choices to formally study mediumship and develop your gifts further?
Jackie and my husband.
Oh.
Jackie and my husband, because with what happened on the farm, I thought, and I saw Jackie and Allison coming in to help. And I thought, what a wonderful gift. And Jackie and Allison called me in for a meeting, and it was upstairs in the master bedroom. And it was off the record. And Jackie said to me, you know you have abilities. And I said, yes. And she said to me, do you know that you have a lot more than you realize? And you have to learn to embrace it. And my husband, when all this was going crazy, I said to him, there's something I have to tell you about me, and please don't get a key out to lock me up. Just hear me out. And he said, okay. And I said, I have abilities. He said, abilities? Well, I see spirits, I see ghosts, and I know what they want. And don't think I'm crazy. And he said, why would I think you're crazy when I have a mother that does energy healing? He said, this is a gift. You have to embrace it. So between Jackie and my husband, I thought, okay, that's two people. Then a third person said to me, you should go to Lilydale. Go to Lilydale. It will be an experience you never forget. I went to Lilydale after I'd found a mentor and so forth. And when I arrived there, I broke down in a heart-wrenching sob. It was like I'd returned home. And I knew my way around there. Now, I'm like an autumn leaf in a windstorm. I have no way of finding my way around anywhere. Do you know, in a snap, I knew my way around there. It was like I'd been there before. And I thought that was the third sign.
Wow. So for people who don't know about Lilydale, just explain what Lilydale is.
Lilydale, I call the jewel of spiritualism. Lilydale is a community in New York State. It's in Chautauqua. And it is the largest spiritualist community in the world and one of the oldest. It has so much to offer for developing mediums and professional mediums alike. It is a gated community, historical community, and it thrives off of the principles of spiritualism. They teach mediumship, they teach meditation, they teach all kinds of anything that's spiritual that you could think of learning, they offer it there. There's church services, spiritualist church services. In the UK, I know they call them organizations. So there's, they have services, and they have public demonstration of mediumships 3 times a day, healing temple. It's a place where I love being a barefoot tourist. Even though I am a registered medium, I'm on sabbatical for a while. I took some time off. This is my 3rd summer off, and I've been writing and doing other things as well. And, with the borders being closed right now, I can't go there. We have a home there, and I can't go there. Yeah. And I fell in love with Lilydale and ended up camping there 2 seasons in a row, and then bought a house. And typical Canadian, of course, it's red and white to match the flag. We even took the flag in at the paint store and matched the flag to the paint. And it's just, I think it's the jewel of spiritualism. And they actually had the cottage for the Fox sisters there, which did burn down, unfortunately, but they have a memorial there for the Fox sisters and the cottage. as well. Yeah.
In Lilydale, though, and both you and Edna would know this, do they also do witchcraft?
No,
Oh, they don't.
no, no. It's spiritualism. It's spiritualism. It is. They have a very high standard for their mediumship. I am actually on the Lilydale Mediums League board. So we are involved in the testing of the mediums. It's a 2-year process. It takes a lot to be a registered medium in Lilydale and to be recognized as such. There's no divination tools used. It's all complete mental mediumship.
Wow.
So we don't use pendulums or crystal balls or tarot cards or anything like that. It's the pure connection to spirit, directly to spirit.
Through the mind.
And through the mind, mental mediumship, yes.
Yeah.
That's fascinating.
I know that, Edna, you love going to Lilydale, don't you?
Well, absolutely.
How come I haven't seen you?
Well, I don't know how our paths hadn't crossed. They should
Oh my goodness. You see, now you have to come sit on my porch and have tea with me.
I will.
And we'll watch all the tourists go by.
You haven't seen Edna because when she goes to Lilydale, she becomes invisible. It's a magic spell she has. I don't know what it is.
It's that setting of intention, right? You set that intention out, you know, make that bubble so nobody sees you and you can just be yourself. And yeah, okay, I get that. I do that all the time.
Oh, good, you understand.
Oh, absolutely.
One of the things that Edna has said to me, and I'm sure she'll embellish this, is that when she's been to Lilydale, when you come out of Lilydale, you feel completely different, Edna, don't you?
Oh, absolutely. I know the very first time I went to Lilydale, it was such a wonderful experience. And the girls I was traveling with, we had decided ahead of time that on the way home, we would stop in at the shopping galleries. And that was not a good thing, because the moment we stepped in to that mall, I just felt so nauseous, so ill. And I really think it was the effect of being in a different space other than Lily. It was a shock, leaving that beautiful spiritual energy of Lilydale and walking into commercialism.
That's very true. It takes me about a week to 2 weeks to adjust to the energy in Lilydale. Now you have to think Lilydale, I see it like this dome over Lilydale of energy. You think so many people are going there, spirit, the divine, and the divine energy, and everything that is of the highest and best energy is being worked there. And people are giving messages, and people are meditating, and people are singing, and people are sleeping on the benches with their bare feet, no one bugging them. And, you know, you can meditate and have a frog sit beside you. I had it happen, and he didn't move until I was done. And I really feel as though the whole place in some ways is a bit of a vortex.
Like with humans and with animals.
Oh, they even have healing services for animals there. And so we go in, and it takes me about 2 weeks. And sleep, it's like you come out of the energy of civilization, the outside world, into Lilydale. All you do is sleep the first week until you adjust. And then the second week, it's going out and about and readjusting and reacclimating to the energy. And when I come out from being there for a season, it takes me a good 3 weeks to adjust to being back outside of Lilydale.
Wow, that's sort of like people that are watching that don't know this about Lilydale, that's sort of like a jet lag.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, you know, oh my God, I've been outside of my time zone, and now
Yes.
I got to recover.
Well, you think when spirit works with you, our energy on the earth plane is very dense. And spirit works to come down part way to communicate with you. And you as a medium have to raise your energy, your vibration, to meet spirit part way, to communicate with spirit. And you think that that energy is in Lilydale all the time.
Wow.
Everywhere you go, the energy is there. So when you come back out of that dome, that I like to call it, you're back into that kind of energy. You're back into that dense energy again. So you have to readjust, just like you do when you go to communicate with spirit. You have to adjust to being in the higher energy.
Now, the other thing, Tammarishka, if I may just interrupt here, the book that you're writing.
Yes.
Can you tell us a bit about that? Like Sit on My Porch?
Come Sit on My Porch is a series that I'm writing right now. And you know, the name started because I went onto YouTube and I was taking people through Lilydale, recording it. And I said, now come on, let's sit on my porch and we'll talk about something. And I thought, oh my gosh, that's it. Come sit on my porch. I'm always inviting people for tea on my porch. And we talk about spirituality and spiritualism and mediumship. I thought that's it. So I carried it over to the books that I'm writing, to Come Sit on My Porch series. And right now, my Come Sit on My Porch book is What It's Like to Be Me.
Right.
The next one is, so basic, first that one is about questions that people ask me all the time that I can't answer enough. So it's from, were you ever scared? Have you ever been scared? Well, absolutely. You kidding? Yeah. You know, have you ever seen an actual apparition? Have you met your spirit guide? How do I meet my spirit guide? All kinds of stuff like that. The next one that I already have, I think another at least 30 questions for already is In My Mind's Eye. So Come Sit on My Porch, In My Mind's Eye, Volume 2. And there's a third one that the outline is there for, which is Come Sit on My Porch, A Paranormal Presence.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That's
like
really
it.
cool.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's fun.
Love the title. I think the title is, it opens up so many doorways, doesn't it, really?
Yes. That was the intention.
And it just sounds so normal too. I mean, when you think about sitting on somebody's porch, you think about, you know, having a lemonade or a glass of wine or whatever, and everything's calm. And I think I love the name.
And I write it in very layman's terms. So it's like us having a conversation right now. I didn't want it to be, you know, heavy duty, parapsychologist kind of language, or investigator language. I wanted it to be just like us sitting down and having a tea on my porch.
Yeah.
I wanted it to be conversational. And I did have a paranormal team called Paranormal Presence. And that's why I'm calling the paranormal one that. Is I named it after the team I had.
Cool. I like it.
That's really cool.
Are the books published yet, Tammarishka?
I'm working on the first one.
Yeah.
I have a few publishers that have been recommended to me to send it to. One in particular is a company that works for spiritual books.
Oh, nice.
So I'm sending it there, but I asked some people for a couple more referrals so I could send it out and see what happens. I would like it, oh, Canadians, forgive me. I would like it American published because I feel the market is bigger there.
Oh, yeah.
And in the UK, I feel the market is bigger there.
Yeah.
And if I go solely Canadian, you know, I feel that I'm missing out on a larger market.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Can I just ask you about the Healing Spirit congregation in Georgetown?
Yes.
Yeah, because you're one of the founding ministers, aren't you?
Yes, I
with
am.
that. What's that all about? Because that sounds lovely.
So actually, the name Healing Spirit came from a healing and a profound healing experience I had in Lilydale.
Oh.
And I left the Healing Temple in Lilydale, and I left Lilydale without the need of mobility devices. I was in a really bad car accident.
Oh my God.
And I had used walker and scooter and braces and all kinds of stuff. And that was in 2012. And I was ordained at the time. Or, no, I was studying ordination, sorry. And one of my teachers said, so when are you opening a church? And I said, no, I'm not a congregation minister. I just went for my qualifications. So when are you opening your church? So this was constant for a few years. And then I was ordained, and she said, so when is your church happening? And then this happened in Lilydale, and in meditation and having my discussion with my higher power, I said, in dedication to the healing I received, I would like to dedicate a congregation to my healing guide, my healing spirit.
Wow.
And so we started it. It was like a dream. Thought it wouldn't happen. Thought maybe we get 10 people, you know, just a bunch of folks that get together. It became a church.
Of course it did.
It became a church. And we have, I think, was it 50 regular members now, like 50 card members. We have more than that attend. On a slow day, we'll have maybe 25 people that come. We have our regulars. And around the holidays, or if we have someone special come for doing mediumship demo and doing a workshop, they'll pack it in on Sunday because they know that they're going to be there on the Sunday service, a divine service. And we are so proud of the healing spirit.
That's great.
It sounds
so
wonderful.
Proud.
Well, you should be proud. Yeah, Edna, you need to. In fact, we do. The next time I'm in Canada, I think we should pay a visit.
Yes.
Yeah.
It would be lovely. It would be our honor to have you come.
Well, maybe we could do a workshop there, you know? Maybe we could run a workshop.
That
there
would be amazing.
And, you know, do something all together. That would be lovely.
That would be amazing.
I'd enjoy that. I really would enjoy that. So you're also known as an international psychic medium as well now. So how did you obtain the international status?
Come a long way, huh?
Do you know what, Tammarishka? I am so proud of you. I really am. That you've embraced this gift that you were born with, and you've not been, well, you have been scared by it, but you've gotten to understand it, and you've gotten to, you know, embrace it, work with your spirit guides, and look where you are now. I mean, you even because you are now ordained as a minister, you officiate at weddings, don't you? And
I marry, name, and bury.
You do. That's fabulous.
Yep, marry them, name the ones that come along, and then bury.
What an honor to be able to do that, isn't it?
It is, because, you know something, you get to know families through all the life cycle events. It is such an honor to be a part of their lives on an intimate level. Not only as their minister, but they often come to me as their medium as well. And it is such an honor to have somebody trust me to the level of opening their personal lives and their hearts to me, and that there's no secrets between them and I.
That's good.
And it's such a profound honor. And they come to you for all their life cycles, and they come to you for you know, even when it's their personal spiritual journey, they trust you that much that they will come to you for other things as well. Yeah, I'm international. I do refer to myself as a Canadian medium, very proud Canadian medium, as I must say. I became an international medium, number one, by working in Canada and Lilydale. But then and becoming registered in Lilydale as well. But what I also attended was a school with Lisa Williams,
Right.
I don't know if you're familiar with Lisa Williams.
Yeah,
She's a UK medium.
She's wonderful, yes.
Yeah, she's lovely. And she has the Lisa Williams International School of Spiritual Development. So I took the course, then I went to Edinburgh and did a week there, and then was tested, and I passed the psychic level and the mediumship level. And now I've been invited, and that was actually, I was invited to attend that program. She wanted me to attend it. So it wasn't something that I pursued. They came to me. Yes. I also took her forensics program, and I've worked with detectives in the States and investigators and things like that as well. Then now I've been invited to take her master teachers program.
Wow.
Excellent.
To become an international master teacher of mediumship development and psychic development.
Wow.
That's fantastic.
So I start in October. Forever student. I always profess to be a forever student.
You know, that's the thing. We are always students. You know, we carry on learning. That's how we go forward. That's how we move forward, is to always learn. And spirit will change how we work and how we learn, won't they? I've found that over the years, that they will bring something in that takes you out of your comfort zone, as you've experienced the same thing, and you think, oh my goodness, what am I going to do now? And then they're going, just relax, we'll guide you through everything. And then, hey presto, you know, you've learned something new, and you think, oh yeah, okay, that's why they're doing this. It makes so much sense.
You know, I feel that every medium who chooses to pursue this professionally, even not professionally, but especially professionally, you are constantly learning and evolving. You owe it to yourself, to your clients, and to spirit to constantly study, constantly learn. If you ever get to that level where you feel like, I do not need to learn anymore, then you need to reassess whether you should be a professional medium or not.
Yeah, totally.
Because if we feel that we have attained perfection, then why would the divine have us here on this journey in the first place?
Exactly.
That's really good advice. And I think that advice can also cross many, many other things other than mediumship. You know, physicians, teachers, and we must never stop learning. We've always got to keep open to what's around the corner.
You know, they say in spiritualism, one of the principles is eternal progress is open to every soul. And we are the creators of our own reality through thought, word, and deed.
Yeah, that's very true. And Edna would absolutely agree with you on that, because you are a retired principal, aren't you, Edna? And so you would, you know, the learning curve is there for us all, isn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah, those are such true words.
I know I was quoting some principles there, but that's the minister in me.
You know, you have such a great sense of humor, and you need to have humor when you're working in any field, but particularly when you're working in this field, because there are so many lights and shades, aren't there? It's been absolutely fascinating talking to you, and I think we should do this again when, you know, perhaps you're a little bit further down the line with the book, it's been published, and then we can, you know, talk about how people can get a copy of the book, and, you know, how they can, well, we'll put your website details anyway at the end of this video, so that they can people can contact you if they want to maybe book a mediumship session with you, or to learn more about your work, the things you do, about the Healing Spirit Congregation, you know, or anything else that any questions they may have. We'll do that.
Thank you so much. It has been such an honor. It's been such an honor.
The dogs are now starting to bark. There's somebody knocking at my front door, and so that's spirit saying, do you know what, we need to
tie it up. Thank you so much. It's been such a blessing to be able to see you guys again. Missed you. You've been on my mind, and we've got to do a Pinot.
Oh yes,
Absolutely.
I'm in for that, Tammarishka.
Okay, bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.